It's been a great camp. Our guys have worked incredibly hard, really love our team. It seems like it's been a long camp, but a good camp, and definitely ready for game week. I know our guys have had about a day and a half off. We should have fresh legs today, and this week's going to go by quick.
You got two student athletes with you today. We'll have you make a comment on each of them before we bring them up. Shaq Vann, your senior running back after receiving another year of eligibility. What has Shaq meant for you and this team?
Well, he's Eastern Michigan football. You know, we came in together 6 years ago. I don't know Eastern Michigan without Shaq Vann. Just so thankful that he's back for another year. Thankful for him to be healthy, to be able to lead this football team. I think his best football is going to happen this season. He's a tremendous leader, tremendous person, and he's an awesome talent. And he's really battled injuries throughout and feels really good right now. And so really, really excited to see him go this year.
And then Kevin, the senior in your secondary, he's gotten a lot of preseason accolades. Again, what have you seen from him and his development through his time with the program?
Well, Kevin represents a group. You know, he played as a true freshman, and there's a group of guys that came in as true freshmen, and their freshman year was the year that went to the Bahamas Bowl. And so sometimes when we're talking about, you know, where we've come from, those guys understand that, but they also are quick to point out that ever since they've been in this program, you know, we've been competitive and have been to 2 bowl games in the 3 years that they've been here. He anchors a secondary that we think will be the strength of our team. Got great depth and a proven talent and experience, you know, in our secondary. And so we think Kevin's as good as anybody, and excited about having him lock down folks this season.
Awesome. Shaq, if you want to go first. Tom, questions for Shaq?
Shaq, have you set some goals for yourself? I know you guys have. What's your why this season?
Yeah.
As you look at your senior year and kind of coming to the end of the road here at EMU, what are your personal goals for this season?
Coming into a season, you always have goals. It wouldn't be a season if you don't have goals. Personally, I just want to run the ball well. I got other goals behind the scenes, but personally, I just need to run the ball well, block well, and be a spark for the offense. But overall, we just want to go 1-0 each day on game day and practice, and we're going to take it like that.
There's a lot of senior leadership on this offense with Mike Glass, the wide receivers, yourself. Is this the best offense you've seen at EMU?
It's definitely up there. We just so talented on offense. We have weapons all over, and I'm just excited to see us roll.
How do you describe yourself as a running back? What type of running back would you describe yourself as?
I think I can do it. I can do it all, but we all in our room, in the running back room, we play off each other. We grab strength and weaknesses from everybody in the room. So we all got something special in the room.
Is it special that your entire career you spent it with Coach Creighton here at EMU? And what's that like? I mean, even though it's been this time frame, does it feel like it's gone fast?
It has gone fast, but I do feel like I've been here forever. But it's nice having Coach Creighton by my side through all the years. We definitely built a strong relationship, and we'll probably be speaking to each other for a long time.
You have a unique perspective on Mike Glass because you're lined up next to him. What have you seen in his growth from last year to this year?
He's just become. He always been a ball player, but now he's just more vocal. He's taken that leadership role to a different level, and like he wanted to command the offense. He wanted the offense to be his, and you see that this year.
A team's only as successful as their offensive line can be. Can you talk a little bit about the guys in front of you?
Oh, they've been working. Like this camp, we probably ran the ball as well as we have any other camp, and they've been working all camp. Got some big guys up front, and we're excited for the season.
You guys start with 3 road games. Have you kind of looked at that as like, you know, a challenge? Like this is kind of the first quarter of the season. We're gonna be road warriors, or how are you guys looking at attacking this first part of the schedule?
Yeah, it's different for everybody. Some people like home games, other people like road games. But for us, we're just gonna take it one game at a time. Try to go 1-0 each game and just build off that.
Shaq, as a guy who's already earned his degree and continue your education here, what do you attribute your success to in the classroom as well to carrying on the field?
My mom always wanted me to get the degree. She don't care what I do. She want me to get that degree, and that's what I stuck by, and I got that degree kind of for her.
Awesome. Anything else for Shaq?
Shaq, talk a little bit about your new running backs coach that you've had this year, Coach Sewell. What has he brought to you guys through the winter workouts and through camp as well?
Yeah, he's a different type of coach. Like, he loves football. He knows his stuff. Like, he's always like giving us the little things like, Shaq, you can do this, you can do that. You know what I mean? It's a lot of little things like that I haven't learned in my 5 years, and I'm just so grateful for him. He's made our whole room better.
And you're already one of just a few players that have been part of a team at Eastern that's gone to 2 bowl games in your career. When you think about the possibility to go to a third this year, potentially go to a third, and potentially play for a MAC championship, which is, I know, one of your goals, how special is it to you when you think about the magnitude of what you guys have done for the program?
Yeah, definitely. We definitely have that in our back of our mind, but we can't just focus on that. You know what I mean? We got to just take it kind of one game at a time, as I said, and hopefully build it up. By the end of the season, we're there.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll have you switch out with Kevin now.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Great. Tom, questions?
Kevin, I see the whys on the helmet, and Coach kind of laid out what's your why for everybody. As you go into this season, what's your why?
I think the biggest why for our season is like each other. I think it's a brotherhood here, and I think we're doing it for everybody that's in here and everybody that supports us, and that's the biggest thing. It's not the critics or anybody who don't believe in us. It's for the people who believe in us and the people who are in our corner.
I talked to Calhoun a little bit, and I said, what's the difference in this team over other EMU teams you guys have played on? And his first response was, we love each other. Not that the other teams didn't, but this team seems to be closer than it ever has been. Can you kind of echo that?
Yeah, that's definitely true. Like, every day is us. Like, we only with each other everywhere we go, even if we're not in this building. And most of the time, we come back to the building just to be with each other. Like, we got the new player lounge. So, like, the other day when they had the game, everybody was in here watching the game. It's like a family thing. Like, everything we want to do with each other.
With the experience and the athletic ability in the defensive backfield this year, how much pressure do you guys put on yourself to, how good can this defensive secondary be?
I'm not sure if we put no pressure with each other. I think it's just like really competitive. Like, all of us want to be the best one in the secondary because everybody talks about how our secondary is so good, and we want to prove to everybody that our secondary is the best. So it's a lot of just competition. Like, we're gonna have competition who had the most picks between me, Brody, Vince, Phelps, everybody. It's just us versus us thing.
How has the defensive front been? I know there's been some changes up there, and how have they been as far as making the job easier for the defensive secondary?
Oh, they done been taking a lot of strides. Like, Sean and Teran, they've been working every day. They're getting better every day, and it's been a joy to see. Like, they just improve so much every day.
I'll ask you the same question I kind of asked Shaq there about this first 3 games on the road. You're going to South Carolina here. I know you guys did some practice in the bubble to kind of get ready for what conditions might be like down there. But how do you guys attack kind of this first 3 games of the season all on the road?
We attack them by going 1-0. I mean, I don't think this team has any problem with going anywhere and playing. We got the saying, we'll play you anywhere in the parking lot. Like, that's true. Like, we don't care where we play you at. We just going to play you, and we're going to play you as hard as we can for all 4 quarters, the whole game, 60 minutes. And what's going to happen is going to happen. Like, that's how we go by it.
What do you think of the new unis?
Oh, they're great. I love them. They're great.
Alex?
Kevin, your 3 interceptions last year were tied for the second most in the MAC. You're a second-team All-MAC defensive player from a year ago, and this season you've been added to 5 preseason award watch lists. So when you've kind of started to get all this recognition, what has been keeping you motivated to come out and have even a better year this year?
Because it's not about me. It's about the team, and it's about us getting to our goal. And if us getting to our goal means I got to be the best me I can be, that's what it's going to take. And that's the only thing that needs to motivate me.
Outstanding. Thank you.
Skip.
Coach, we'll bring you back up and open it up for questions.
Pretty easy to see why I love this team so much, isn't it?
Yeah. Is there a reason that this team has been closer, for lack of a better word? Not that other teams weren't, but love seems to be the word that's foremost on this team. This seems like a real brotherhood.
It is, and I think it has been. I don't know that you want to compare it to other teams, but there's no doubt that one of the things that we had to do, take a step forward in, is player-to-player accountability in our program. I think it's tough these days for guys to hold people accountable and to take that part of the leadership role. And this group has been able to do that, and without resistance, because of the relationships that they have with each other. You know, you talk to any of the guys that, freshmen or transfers that have come into the program this summer, they're still mind blown by the acceptance just right off the bat about how close everybody is and how everybody matters and how those things are real. And I think that we've progressed in that way. And I mean, just listen to those guys talk, you know, about how unselfish they are. It's real. And so love is a great word. I mean, that's intense. You know, that's what you aspire to. And so, you know, we'll see if we're there, but I don't doubt these guys.
You guys have gone to 2 bowl games in the last 3 years. Is that where the bar should be now for Eastern Michigan? Is that more the standard now than the exception?
Well, you know, we're getting to the time of the year where, like, the only kind of bowl we're talking about is a Raisin Bran or Fruit Loops in the morning, you know, when I'm leaving home. I mean, we are trying to get ready to beat Coastal Carolina. I will tell you this, for these 30 seconds to step back out of this game week, I really believe that in the last 3 years, or 3 years ago, that we had a breakthrough, you know, out of the bottom into mediocrity. We're 19-19 in the last 3 years. And that was a big step. And we believe that there's a whole nother breakthrough out there. And that is being a winning program. Doesn't just mean winning football games, but really in everything that we do. Anybody who's been a part of it knows when a program has a feel of just doing things right and with confidence and with humility, and that there is love in the program, and it's just winning football on the field, and it's a positive, determined, accountable culture outside of that. And that's our next breakthrough, and I believe that we can get there.
What kind of growth have you seen in your quarterback, Mike Glass, from his junior year to this year?
I think Shaq said it well. You know, a year and a couple months ago, he just joined our program. And I frankly told him when he got here, you know, and joined us in May, that we weren't going to wait for him. I was like, look, if you can somehow catch up in the summer where we can only spend up to 2 hours with you a week, awesome. But if not, understand that we're not going to go backwards or wait for you. And then, you know, and he's competing, you know, and then all of a sudden he's playing in those first couple games, and then really became our starter, you know, for that Toledo game. He surpassed what I thought he would be able to do. Now you go from last season to now, and like Shaq said, I mean, he is absolutely a leader. He is so fun to coach. He does not have an ego. He's a winner. He's real. He just loves to compete. He loves football. He's just got an attractive personality that people want to be around, and he's so good. He understands football. He's so coachable, and you know, just the ball that he throws, it's just easy to catch. And he's very deceptive with the ball in his hands, you know, when he decides to do it with his feet. So I just have always believed that you got to have a winner back there, you know, who's a great leader, and we have that in Mike Glass.
When you look at your defense, are there some players you look to that you'd say, these guys are the heartbeat of the defense? Like, these are the way I want all 11 guys to play, or all 11 guys like that?
Yeah, no, I mean, we kind of mentioned it with the secondary. You just, you know, talk to Kevin McGill. You know, Vince Calhoun, it sounds like you talked to him prior to that. You know, Brody Hoying is in with that group there, and Jalen Phelps. I mean, you're talking about 3 of those 4 guys have been playing since true freshmen, and you know, they're multiple All-MAC performers already in that group. And again, that group, just hasn't been here when we really, really struggled, on Saturday afternoons. And so I think that our defense and then even our team, responds to that group.
Is there a Max Crosby effect of guys that say, all right, I saw how he worked, I see where he is now, this is the way I need to work to be the best that I can be?
We talked about Max Crosby his freshman year. He redshirted, and I just talked to him last week, and he reminded me. He goes, "My goal was to be Scout Team Player of the Year. Scout Team Player of the Week every week," and then he became the Scout Team Player of the Year. And so I think it's good, especially for the young guys and even the old guys, to be reminded that here's a guy who's a 4th-round draft pick who is off to a great start with the Oakland Raiders, who was a Scout Team player, but wanted to be and was Scout Team Player of the Week. When you've got that kind of mentality from your greatest players, and the Shaq Vanns and the Vince Calhouns and the Brody Hoyings and the Kevin McGills and the Mike Glasses, those guys' work ethic is just like Max's. And so you got a chance to be special when your best players are also your hardest workers.
My last question for you. I've seen the Y's on the back of the helmet. I know you've kind of tasked each player with what's your why. Have you tasked yourself with that same question? What's your why for the 2019 season?
Well, so it's really multifaceted. We've started answering that question back in February as a team about what is our why as a team. And then each of us have our own personal whys as well. And, throughout camp, each guy, coach and player, has gotten up in front of the team and has shared both their personal why and what they believe the team's why for why we want to be successful. And I can tell you that really there's 3 main reasons that our team has expressed why we want to do what we want to do this year. And that is to change the perception that many have of Eastern Michigan football. We do. We just want to change that. And we want to, the other one would be to prove people right / prove people wrong. And in there is to gain respect, and then to leave a legacy, and maybe different than what most of these guys walked into, but to leave a different legacy. So there's really kind of 3 categories that nearly every guy's answer for why the team, wanted to be successful this year fit into.
I lied, not my last question. Coastal Carolina, what concerns you about Coastal Carolina as you go into week 1 here? What do you see as kind of their biggest threats to your team?
Well, so I think there's 2 answers to that as well. One is no matter who you're playing, it's been 8 or 9 months, and so all of the information that you can glean and gather, there's some intrepidation because you just don't know for sure exactly what you're going to get. And then Coastal Carolina exacerbates that because they have a new head coach, even though he was, running the offense, but he's hired a couple of new offensive coordinators, a new defensive coordinator. And so now you're talking about, their film that we've been able to watch from last year may or may not be helpful. So it's the first game, number 1. Now you have, at least to some degree, a new staff on top of that. You're talking about a program in their first year of FBS football in the Sun Belt Conference was 1 game away for the last 4 of being eligible to go bowling. I mean, so, it took us 27 years to get to, our bowl game for the first time in almost 3 decades. And their first year of FBS football, they're 1 game away. So obviously on the rise, and they've made changes obviously to even get better. And so it's a huge task. This is our first in my time here, 6 years that we've been on the road for our first game. We've always had the luxury of being at home for the first one. And so that's going to be different for us as well. From what I understand, it's hot and sticky down there, so you're away for the first time. It's the first game of the season. It's a new staff and a program that's already proven in 1 year that they're a team to be reckoned with. And so we've got our hands full.
Have you been prepping for 2 quarterbacks? Because they can kind of throw anybody at you.
Yeah, we expect to see both, either or. I think they feel as though they've got 2 good ones, which I think anybody in their right mind, knows that in a college football season, you better have at least 2. And so to me, that's a luxury that they have, that they feel good of at least 2.
And you feel good about, is there a certain pattern you try and keep these guys on the road? Traveling's a different animal. You got the guys in a team hotel. You talk about starting on the road. Is there a way you found the best way to travel for this team to kind of prep for those types of games?
Yeah, absolutely. We worked hard at that, and now, going into the 6th year, our guys know what our process is. Even though we're at a different venue, the timing of our Friday evening dinner all the way through kickoff is really the same. Even with the variance of kickoffs on Saturday, we keep all of those things the same. And so the guys know that they have to learn themselves, and they have to know when to flip their switch. And so we have a process that really stays the same so that they can depend on everything being the same each week, and so that they can be ready to be at their best at kickoff.
Yeah, I know it varies coach to coach and team to team based on maturity level and just kind of the atmosphere. And not to look too far back into last year, but obviously the heartbreaker in the Camellia Bowl. How much has that finished? Have you let that kind of creep into this year's team in terms of kind of building motivation off of that, or has it just been a total flush it and it's a different year and we moved on from that?
It's a great question. So the way that we go about the 1-0 is that whatever has just happened, good, bad, or otherwise, you have to learn from it, and then you can flush it. You have to learn from it first. And so we actually showed that clip on August 1st or whenever our first day was, because that is part of the learning. I don't think that you just learn from it in those 2 seconds and then it's over. Because that was real pain. That was real and deep disappointment. And that's not what's motivating this team. That's not, because you can't, I don't think good programs, get into something bad happened, and so you're going to get all fired up, and then you win, and then you feel good about yourself, and then you don't play well, and that ends up, being at 500. I don't think that's the best way to go about it. But the frustration and the pain was so real from that, and we want to be better than that. So we showed it that first night, but that's not something that we talk about really ever.
Piggybacking off of that, last year you're one of just 8 teams in the FBS that had 7 or more games decided by 1 score. So, and unfortunately dropping 4 of those. Looking at this year, what have been the steps that you guys have taken? So when you're in those tight, they've almost been dubbed Eastern Michigan-like games when it's a close game at the end. So what are the steps you've taken so that those can turn into victories for you?
Well, that all, starts with me. I've got to do a better job. And I think you start with just the awareness that where we are, we're going to be in tight games. That's going to continue. That we're going to be competitive with whoever we play. And, and if we don't play well, we're not going to come up on the positive end. But if we're at our best and we're competing like we're capable of, that we're going to be in these games. So I think the awareness of that, it's not going to go away. 5 overtimes in the last 2 years or whatever it is. We're going to be in close games, and so we've got to just realize that, get excited about that, and then it's not some time bomb. We're not changing things drastically or dramatically. I think it's the confidence and belief, and then the execution and the attention to detail, all the way through. So that's not a real sexy answer, but I do believe that we'll be better in those situations. I really do. But it's not because, we're going to play with 13 players instead of 11. We've just got to keep doing what we do and do it better.
Now flipping the page to Coastal Carolina this week, you alluded to it earlier, but with all the kind of various things that go into a week 1 game, the travel this week, the hot and humid conditions, playing a team that's a little bit of an unknown, is it more important for you this week to have your players focused on executing what they're supposed to execute, or what's kind of the balance between the internal side of things, but also looking at some of the film from Coastal Carolina and trying to balance it with the install?
Great question. I don't have a percentage or anything like that for you. You always want to focus on yourself and being the best that you can be at what it is that you do, knowing your role and being great at it. Well, then in a game week, you then have to apply what you do, what we do, against what we're going to see offensively, defensively, and special teams. So there is, two forces coming together. You don't just play, against yourself. You play against yourself to be the best that you can be, but what you do applies, and applies differently each week to who it is that you're playing. And so, we do a very thorough scouting report, try to figure out strengths and weaknesses, how we want to attack in all three phases, and then collectively as a group, and then do what we do against that the best that we can.
Last question for me. You spent a lot of time in the indoor practice facility getting your team ready for the potential hot and humid conditions down there. Obviously, a lot of moaning and groaning maybe the first couple times you're in there because of the heat, but is that something that you foresee paying big dividends? So maybe taking that aspect of it off the table when you're down there and having the heat maybe not affect the team so much?
Yeah, I don't recall the moaning and groaning. I think that our guys have attacked camp and the preparation for being down in South Carolina extremely well. And I do think it's going to help. I mean, it's just still air in there. It's a greenhouse effect. The heat index is higher in there than it is outside. And so it's the only option that we have. We're thankful that we have it. So we've had a plan. We've worked that plan. We feel really good about it.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time.
All right, go Eagles.